So be.
All right. So what do you say we? Well, I guess that's really just the news for this week.
Yeah, it's kind of
And now we're gonna switch over. It was a pretty slow week, so we decided to do a bit of a tier list. And if you're watching the video, we're gonna have to do a really good job trying to explain to people that are only listening. But the way tier lists work, let's start at the basics, okay? Let me enlarge your screen. So we renamed our tier list, but
Sure did.
we'll have a link in the description if you want to do it yourself. It is called the Video Game Series Tier List Community. Okay, like this is how we're gonna do it. Top of the list is Legendary. Then we go to
It's like
podcast approved. But go ahead. Why don't you describe Legendary?
Well, I was gonna say, so Legendary. The way I was thinking to do it is like Legendary. We're gonna put that as our S tier, but we can only have one thing there. This is like the defining, like you must play Legendary.
Ooh.
Like this as a podcast, what we think you should try, what we think you should play, no matter what you're into, kind of thing. I'd say that's how I always do. That's how I always do my tiers, Mike. I always keep that top tier as like
there's only one S tier.
And if we want to, we can do it kind of like this. We can rank everything below it, and then at the very end, we can select one from the podcast approved tier at number 2 and bring it up to the S tier at tier 1, make it Legendary. Probably make it a little more kind of easier to deal with, so we're not like just saying, okay, well, let's just do this one, but then if we want to change it later, we don't have to worry about that. We could just do everything below tier 1, and at the very end, we'll do Legendary.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. So the way this is rated is Legendary is your S tier being racing style tiers. You got S, A, B, C, D, and then F. I think you even have E in some classes, but S tier will be our number 1 overall game series that you need to have. We're talking by the way, game series. We're talking like Mario Kart here, Lego, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, Battlefield, Call of Duty, like series, kind of like an IP. That's the way we're gonna do it. Then we're going to have podcast approved. Then we have kind of podcast approved. Then we're going to have our don't waste your time. And then we finish with single A games. Single A games being the worst, Legendary being the top.
Yeah, like single A games what do you say? Like, don't even try, you know? It's
100%. So what do you say we just drop in, we go in order of the games that we see.
Let's do it, dude.
So, starting it off,
tier 1, dude. Assassin's Creed, dude. Assassin's Creed, Mike. Are you doing this? So, what are we thinking? This is the thing. I used to love Assassin's Creed, right? Like 1, 2, 3, solid games. When I was younger, especially Assassin's Creed is like one of the first games I played on Xbox, and it was kind of there's definitely some fondness there for me of the series. Doing the first 3. Getting into Black Flag, it picked up a little bit. For me, this is like late high school. I'm getting into Black Flag, so it's kind of like, it's jumping back into Assassin's Creed. I haven't really played it kind of in a few years at that point. But like the ship combat and everything was just so good. And so those early Assassin's Creeds I loved. More so in the last like 6-7 years, though, haven't really touched too many Assassin's Creeds. I've tried Origins, like maybe a year ago, tried to get into it. It was okay. So, like, I don't know. It's an interesting thing for me, Mike, but what do you think? Thinking.
I can't in good, like, conscience put Black Flag or Assassin's Creed 2 and 3 in anything below podcast approved.
Yeah,
that's just how I am.
I agree. No, I mean, I agree.
Like, those games are so good that Assassin's Creed could launch about 3 trash games, which arguably kind of have. But the rest of the series is phenomenal. I can't say, like, you're not going to pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's one of the most, like, recognizable IPs of all time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It really is. In the modern era, by far.
Yeah. I totally agree. I would say, like, those first 4 Assassin's Creed games, it's enough for me to just put in podcast approved without, like, thinking about the rest. Yeah. And that being said, the rest of the games are still like, people still like them. Like they're still like very like well rated and people enjoy them and spend a lot of time in the world. So I think overall podcast approved. I like that. Starting off strong on the list.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Batman, the Batman series. So was it Arkham Asylum, Arkham City?
Yeah, Arkham City.
Isn't there a third one?
Arkham Knight,
I believe.
I think.
Arkham Knight. Yeah. I think you're right.
I'm gonna embarrass myself though, Mike. I've only seen like gameplay. I haven't actually played them. So this is something where it's not really, I don't really have much of an opinion. Like I'm relying on you on this one because I don't know if I've actually like really played it much.
The story alone is podcast approved, man. If you're a DC Universe kind of person, you like the DC comics, you watch all the movies, TV shows in particular, like the Batman Arkham games are really loyal to the comics. And it's gotta be like that's what recommended for me, man. Even though like you just said you watch the YouTube series and like the gameplay and stuff, are you not entertained out of your mind?
No, I am, dude. It's look.
So imagine playing,
right, dude. Like, yeah, I mean that's crazy. It's a good point, yeah, dude. I've seen stuff too where it's like I don't know if it's the Riddler or someone else where he like glitches out the game and makes you think that your game crashed. It's like,
yes.
Are we podcast proving this, dude? That's what it seems like.
Let's be real here. A lot of these IPs are super well known, so I think there's going to be a lot of podcast approved.
Yeah,
we're going to have to take it to consider. Yeah, but there are some games here where I'm like, you kind of messed it up a lot.
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna say you should watch this, but
true.
Yeah. Or you should play this.
So yeah, dude. Should we move on? The Battlefield series, Mike. The Battlefield series. Again, dude, it's like every other franchise. It's like the first like few games were amazing. And then it's just kind of like it just fell off a cliff at the last couple of releases. It's like it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, Battlefield 42, Battlefield 3. I liked Battlefield 4. I feel like I'm one of the few people that like Battlefield 4. 2042 is now good, by the way.
Yeah, like they redeemed it, I guess.
Took a while.
Yeah.
Took a while. I think you and I both kind of leaning towards that kind of podcast.
Exactly, man. That's kind of
which is tough because that's going to upset some Battlefield fans because there's some diehards. Yeah. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that would put it in "Don't waste your time" too. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's it's like
there's some people that are just like it's a waste. Yeah.
Like the reason I would put it in kind of podcast, like that C tier is kind of just like, or the B C tier is like I like the first games were awesome and I did play them and I enjoyed them, but it's like I tried 2042 when it was like like the original kind of demo going to it was okay, but then like with the game launch it was just so bad and broken and. It's just so unfortunate, man. So I think for me, it's like if the Battlefield game is good, it's amazing. But like if it's not, it's just kind of. But the track record just makes me knock it down a couple tiers.
And the other thing is too, a lot of their games now depend entirely on multiplayer and the community there. And I got to be real, some of the community members in Battlefield are pretty tough to deal with. And
no kidding.
If you could deal with it, by all means, go get into it. You're gonna be fine and have a good time. But you got to be willing to accept that. Yeah. So. That's why I'm saying kinda. What's next on our list here? Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. Oh, man. Boy, do I have some nostalgia for this, Mike.
Dude,
I have some nostalgia for this.
It's one of those ones, man. To me, it's one of those ones that it's like, they have so many games. Like, dude, but Call of Duty 2 and 3 were phenomenal. Phenomenal games. Modern Warfare 2, the first one, was phenomenal.
Oh, man.
Are you still there? Oh, you're getting blurry on me.
Oh.
The storm hitting you?
Yeah, a little bit of rain coming through, Mike. We're trying to storm it out, dude. We're good. But yeah.
All right. What are you thinking?
It's like, look, dude, I love the early Call of Duty games so much. Like going in, like obviously the newer ones, just not my thing. That being said, I played a lot of the Modern Warfare like zombies that came out this past one. So there's some redeemable qualities there for me. I mean, I'm willing to go podcast approved, but I think it's partially just because I have so many fond memories of this, and just so much of that, and there's a lot of I grew up on Call of Duty essentially, so it's hard for me to like get away from that kind of.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. That's fair. I'm on the same page as you are. The next one on the list is Counter-Strike. I gotta say that's one of the games that you need to play. However, I don't think everybody should play it. That makes sense.
No, honestly, that's fair. That's fair. I could see that point. It's a very competitive game, right? So if you're not into competitive games, you're not gonna have fun. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I think especially if we were recommending it to other people, it's not. I wouldn't say like it's a must play or like gotta check it out. But like it's good if you're into competitive shooters. It's kind of podcast approved, like I don't think it's a waste of time by any means. Try to play it.
Oh no, absolutely not. No.
So I mean, it's I like kind of podcast approved. I like that.
Yeah, I think we're on board there. So what is this next one? It looks like it's Diablo. Is that?
I was thinking Diablo. That's what I was thinking. I don't.
Yeah, that is Diablo.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I think we're kind of podcast approved because that game's not for everybody. Although the story is phenomenal. I don't know. That's where I'm at. What about you?
yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna expose myself again, dude. Haven't played a Diablo game, so I've just seen gameplay. But it's kind of just like I don't know. I lean on you on this one because I don't think it's a waste of time by any means. Because a lot of people I know like enjoy it, and especially Diablo 4, right? People have enjoyed it. Some people, have different opinions about like how long it takes and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I lean on you on this one, Mike. What do you think? Do you think it's a waste of time? I guess the ultimate question.
No, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's an old IP. It's been around for a long time. Diablo 4 I liked. I had fun with it. A lot of people like Diablo 3 still and still play it. It's a very popular game. Let's not make a mistake here. But would I say it needs to be podcast approved? Like you have to go play it kind of attitude? No. I think it's more of kind of podcast approved. Like if you're into the stories, you like playing those kind of top-down sort of games, RPGs, yeah, you probably want to check it out. But I'm not going to say it's a requirement. Like you don't have to. So
Yeah.
I think that's a kind of approved. I'm not going to put in the don't waste your time.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's not bad or anything.
No, I think it's just a decent video game series.
Yeah.
Next one here is Doom.
Doom, baby.
Now I love shooters.
I do too,
I love
man.
shooters.
I think I know where this is going, dude.
You want to put in podcast approved, right?
I sure do, dude. It's a solid, man. Solid shooter. Yeah,
Doom Eternal had me in a different world, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I love that game.
Especially the recent Doom entries have just been so good,
Dude, reboot and the originals basically created an entire genre. Like, there's no way that ain't kind of podcast approved. That's definite.
Oh yeah,
podcast approved.
I'm recommending everyone check it out.
Heck yeah. So, how about the FIFA?
Dude, Mike, I so badly just want to put it here, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Single A games or don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. I don't know. FIFA 13, that was peak, dude. I loved FIFA 13, but that's because I was super into KSI at the time and a lot of those FIFA YouTubers, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so like
that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, I had a fondness for that game, but yeah, it was 11 years ago, right? So it's kind of like it was so long ago, and like since then, I just haven't touched another FIFA game, and it's been like just kind of like. The microtransaction things, the Ultimate Team stuff has kind of always been like questionable in the air. Like in terms of sport games, I don't know. Like I'd probably get more fun out of an NFL game than I would a FIFA game at this rate. So it's kind of just like if you're gonna play a sports game, I don't know, something like maybe like NFL or I don't know, a racing game if they consider that kind of a sports game. But I don't know. I think there's other options other than FIFA. I don't know, Mike. What are you thinking? Do you think it's a total waste of time? I need to know your opinion.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. FIFA is the same game it's always been. If you played it once, which you probably have in the last 10 years, it's the same version every single time. It's a new characters, new players, new actual personalities in it. But the attributes change. Like sometimes, dude, it's EA, man. I can't put EA really high up there sometimes. It's like it's money grab half the time, It's tough. So I'm in the don't waste your time category. If you've always played FIFA, maybe you're a streamer, you're a content creator, or you're not that big into video games. I know plenty of people who don't like video games and they play FIFA, Madden, 2K. Like that's their thing. And I get that. That's cool. But the game's trash. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm right there with you, man. I'll be honest. Right there with you, dude.
Yeah.
It's
all right, well let's pick up the pace a little bit. Let's how about Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy? I want to play the remake. 7 remake. I want to play it. Haven't played
Rebirth?
It yet. Well, that and Rebirth. I want to eventually get to those. I will say though, JRPGs never been something I played. Like I think the newer games are probably, more tailored to a style I'd play. I mean, I don't know. I never played the original Final Fantasy 7 or 6 or any of that, so it's hard for me to really rate this one. In all honesty, I think it's definitely not a waste of time from what I've seen and heard from other people. So I mean, Content podcast approved could probably be where I'd put it, but that's solely because I just really haven't put many hours into the Final Fantasy games. So I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's got to be podcast approved, man. It's just there's so many different games. It's so well known. Sometimes, like I know plenty of people that love video games specifically because of Final Fantasy.
It's
got to be podcast approved.
Fair point. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll lean on that in this case because obviously, like, I haven't played them, so they're not like huge on my radar. But yeah, they're undeniably huge, right? So it's can't fight against that. So. Oh, dude, God of War.
Just go ahead and put in podcast approved.
God of War, Mike.
It's not even worth talking about. You and I both know.
God of War, dude. I have to, dude. I mean, GTA, Mike. Like, what are we talking about here, dude? What are we talking about here?
GTA easy, podcast approved.
What are we talking about here, dude? Easy.
All right, what Gran Turismo? Okay, this one's interesting. It goes into that decent category.
Yeah.
I think I would put it. I think it should go right next to Doom.
Okay.
Kind of podcast approved. Okay. If you're
like Doom.
Oh, not Doom. Sorry. Diablo is what I meant.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. It's a racing game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's good.
That's why I would say kind of approved.
Yeah.
It's really good. What else is here? Halo?
Oh, Mike.
Dude.
You need for this one, dude. This is the thing. So what we see in this is 1 through 4, right? Should we just kind of lean on the originals? Should we not think about Infinite and just pretend that never happened and just focus on 1 through 4? How do we do this?
Well, I think that's just like the MCC box art. I mean, Halo 2 I consider one of the greatest games of all time.
Yep.
Halo 3 is the more complete game, but Halo 2 is probably the greatest console shooter of all time.
Bold statement. Yeah, you got. Let's go.
It's real though. I mean, you can't really argue with it. Just the records they broke, the storytelling, it was phenomenal. And they all did it in a really short amount of time. Yeah, I think that one's got to go at podcast approved.
I think so too.
There's just no way. No way. Like, it's like the more recent titles are. It is like the character's more famous than the game now.
Literally.
When you're at that level, you got to go up to podcast approved.
Yep.
So what's the next one here? Is that
Zelda? Just any Legend of Zelda?
Just Zelda in general?
Yeah. Just Zelda series in general. I mean, come on.
Podcast approved. There's no way I'm putting anything below.
Yeah. It's undeniable, dude.
Mario Kart?
I guess it's just Mario Kart in general. I mean,
Mario Kart's podcast approved easily.
Oh yeah, easily. Anyone can sit down, enjoy it, have a good time. It's a game for everyone, dude. There's no way you put that in any other tier.
Mortal Kombat,
dude. This is interesting. For me,
that's good, man.
For me, I put it here. It's not a waste of time. I don't think it's complete trash, but I think for me, it's just like, it's a decent beat 'em up. It's, a decent fighting game. I don't think it's like obviously are there better fighting games, sure, but I think it's still a solid fighting game for the most part, and a lot of people.
And they're doing better with their story in the most recent game. I think, I'm on board. Pac-Man, podcast approved. There's no way you can put Pac-Man.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's just so much to offer nowadays. Like, you can put it here. I mean, there's just so much better options, dude. Pac-Man's great, and don't get me wrong, there's a legacy there. But it's just like, you're sitting down playing games. We're talking about how many people are gonna series though. If you're gonna pick, how many people are gonna pick this over Legend of Zelda, over Mario, over Halo, over like any of these games, dude? Like, don't get me wrong, Pac-Man, sure, it's one of the OGs, right? It's one of the GOATs. But like, I don't know, dude. It's hard for me. I mean, we could put it in podcast proof, but it's almost hard for me to, cause just based on legacy, it's like, or just based on age, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would probably like roast me for putting that in Don't Waste Your Time, but I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
All right.
You want to compromise?
You're kind of talking me into it.
What do?
It's one of those ones where it's just like, it's so classic, man.
It is, dude. It is.
I bet you put Solitaire and like Waste Your Time too.
100%.
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, no. Minesweeper would go up. But dude, Solitaire? Spider Solitaire probably go up. Solitaire, man. Yeah.
Alrighty. So Pokemon. Where are you at?
I mean, the legendary game, they're so just iconic, right? It's a series that which stood the test of time. I'll give it the newer games, it's just, especially on release, terrible. Not gonna lie, they're just not made well.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot left to be desired. I mean, I don't know. I would say podcast approved just because it's Pokemon, man. It's a household name at this point. Like, I don't know.
Pokemon Go, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap.
Yep. It's kind of the newer ones, right? And then
card trading game, just in general.
You have Diamond,
you
Pearl,
gotta put it up there,
Fire Red.
TV show, movies, like it's got to go up there, dude. It's got to go up there.
Oh, the Red Dead
What's
Redemption games. Oh. Red Dead Redemptions, dude. Come on.
You already know. Podcast approved.
Podcast approved without a doubt.
Get that out of the way quick.
Come on, dude. Western game that's solid, dude. Come on.
Skyrim, podcast approved.
Skyrim, podcast approved. Elder Scrolls, so far, great games. Yeah, and they're undeniable, right? We'll see if 6 changes that, but so far, we're rolling pretty hot. So, then again, game also came out 13 years ago, so keep that in mind too. Spider-Man games for me, if we're talking like the recent Spider-Man games, podcast approved, dude. That's just me. I mean,
even the old ones were good on the PS2 and 3.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, I remember playing 2, and I remember playing I think 2 on GameCube. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Man. First time you get to like swing around Manhattan, it was awesome.
Was awesome. Yeah, definitely podcast approved for me.
Doc Ock.
Without a doubt. Yeah, and the newer games.
Yeah,
take it above and beyond. Solid stories, everything.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario Bros. Yeah, just move it. Super Mario Bros. Goes in podcast approved.
Super Mario Bros. In general, just all around.
Yeah.
Solid series. 30, 40 years old. Come on.
That's a fact.
Super Smash Bros. One of the few fighting games I will still actively play and still be like, yeah, let's do it.
I got the
Super Smash.
I play N64 Super Smash whenever I meet up with my old friends. We get together in the living room. A couple of brewskis this time around instead of being like 10 years old playing.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
What's the next one there? Is that
Street Fighter?
Tekken?
It might be Tekken. Actually, you might be right. I think you're right. I think it's Tekken.
Is it Tekken?
It looks like
find out.
Tekken. No.
It is Tekken.
Tekken? Yeah.
Ooh, Tekken.
It's an interesting one.
I think Mortal Kombat's better than Tekken. I said it.
I do too, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's looking like a don't waste your time for me, man.
Don't waste your time.
I don't know, dude. Look, see, now we'll say we can compromise on this because if this was my list, I've never played Tekken, was never interested. Don't waste your time. I'm just like, that's kind of my thing on it. But I'm not huge on fighting games though. Mortal Kombat's the only one I actually like played and really enjoyed in the fighting genre, aside from Super Smash, obviously.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like if I think Mortal Kombat is the better gaming experience for like people, right? It has a little bit more. I don't know, like a little more fantasy in it, perhaps, than Tekken does.
No.
And I don't know, man. But I feel like if Tekken has the better competitive scene.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you that.
Mortal Kombat's a more casual.
It's true.
It's kind of hard to say. It's like if you in terms of like competitiveness, Tekken by far you should go that way.
Yeah.
But in terms of like just playing the game to play the game, you gotta go Mortal Kombat. But I can't put them on the same level.
You make a solid point though. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think it's don't waste your time.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. If you're
unfortunately,
if you're thinking that too,
and I don't feel necessarily good about it.
Well, this is the thing. Like, there's better fighting games to play in our opinion, right? Like whether it's Smash Bros. Or, it's justifiable in our use case and our kind of rankings. I think it makes sense.
Yeah,
just me.
It's gonna upset people.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Uncharted, come on. I know, Mike. I don't even know if you played the games, but I'll just tell you right now.
I never even played it. I just know everybody's obsessed with it.
Yeah. Amazing stories. It's Naughty Dog. Can't beat it. Linear storytelling games. I mean, they're just good. Uncharted 4 especially is a masterpiece on the PlayStation 4. So for me, that is like, I will podcast approve it for both of us on RVS. Witcher series. I don't know, dude. Yeah. I haven't played it much, but everybody that I know that has played it, it's like, this is an RPG that you can't skip on.
It's really good.
It's on my list, and Witcher 3 is arguably the best game of the last decade. So, hey, or at least I should say the best game of the 2010s. That probably makes more sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Oh, Need for Speed, Mike.
Speed. I love Need for Speed games, dude. I absolutely do, but I think you need to put that in Don't Waste Your Time.
Oh.
I think you do, man. I gotta be real. I love them, but they're trash. They're trash games. There's like There's maybe like 4 games that are phenomenal for Need for Speed, but the rest is mostly trash.
Was Burnout a Need for Speed game, or was that not a Need for Speed game? That's its own thing.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was its own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Hot Pursuit wasn't bad. It was not a Need for Speed game. I'd like trying to think of older games.
Hot Pursuit wasn't too bad. I didn't really like it. There was an open world game on the PC that I played a lot. It was okay. There's just so many better racing games, and there's no way I could put it on the same tier as Gran Turismo.
See, for me, I just never really played Gran Turismo. So, like, for me, it's like Need for Speed would go above it. But that's just me. Like, because I played more Need for Speed than Gran Turismo, right? Maybe I'm way off. And I'm not a huge on racing games, so,
You're way off. You're way off. But it's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm here to save you.
There you go. All right. Yeah, don't play Need for Speed, guys. Need a break to you.
Nope, no shot. Five Nights at Freddy's, I've never played.
Five Nights at Freddy's? Oh. So, honestly, I'm willing to put this in kind of podcast approved just because the lore that's behind it is out of this world. It's like the amount of stories people made for this game, and like just like how many there have been in the series, how many people have loved them, and it's kind of just like cheap scare horror, right? Like just get on for a cheap scare. And there's like the night 7 people try to do where they try to last like the extra night. It's like a huge challenge and it's extremely difficult. There's a there's almost like a skill level to this game, and like you can really master it, and so you can spend a lot of time on it and really get good at it. It's kind of surprising how how involved people get with this game. So for me, it's like one of those things. I partially put it in kind of podcast approved because it is a horror game. It's cheap scares. Not a lot of people are gonna like the jump scare kind of like horror stuff. So it's not something I would recommend everyone play. But hey, man, if you want a challenging horror game that has a decent a decent gameplay loop and can keep you entertained, it's definitely up there. I would say it's definitely one that it's not a waste of time. So I'd put it in kind of approved.
Okay. Yeah. I'm on board with that. Your favorite IP probably is Fallout. Are you gonna do what I did with Halo? Lean on the old IPs, the old titles. Because the recent ones are frustrating.
Single A game. It's not. That's
okay. Even I know that's crazy.
No. I mean, up until now, man, it's obviously podcast approved. I think if anyone's looking for an RPG, it's easy to get into, especially like 3, New Vegas, 4, kind of those games. They're not obviously the best RPGs ever. There's a lot lacking, especially in 4, just from like a storytelling standpoint, and it's not super in depth. I think a lot of the gameplay loop in general though is pretty good, and like the side quest is where that game really shines. So, but I mean, I think if you just want an RPG, like kind of a watered down RPG that isn't like fantasy or anything like that, Fallout's the game to check out. I think it's the series to check out, and I think a lot of people can get into that maybe wouldn't play RPGs otherwise. It's a good like kind of gateway drug to that, so to speak. So yeah, it's definitely podcast proof for me. Yeah,
I think that's fair. All right, then you got Street Fighter.
This is Street Fighter. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't recognize the art.
Yeah, no, I recognize a couple of these characters.
Yeah, I think Street Fighter. I think Tekken is better than Street Fighter. Ooh. But I don't think it's a single A game. I don't.
So
I think it's got to go on.
It goes right behind Tekken. Okay.
Yeah, I think Tekken definitely clears it. Street Fighter's got some misses though.
Yeah, sure. Street Fighter 6, I'm pretty sure it was good, right? I don't keep up close to Street Fighter, so
Street Fighter 6 was good.
I feel like people praised it, but yeah. I mean, hey, it's artless, like, That's all I'm saying. It's artless,
That's a fact.
So I don't know. I wouldn't waste my time with it. That's just me. Not into those games.
Yeah. Honestly, that's where I'm at too. Let's see. The next one here is Injustice. Have you ever played an Injustice game?
Injustice Gods Among Us? Yeah, dude. Justice?
No, there's Injustice 2 as well.
Yeah. I heard people like the Injustice games. People, some of my friends were really into them. But I mean, I never played them, so it's kind of just.
Hey, I think it's a don't waste your time kind of game. It's just.
Oh, maybe even single A. Imagine. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people that think it's just trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me. I've never played. Let's do this. Injustice ratings. Oh, this is the we gotta do video game. 8.2 out of 10 is one of them.
Not too bad.
I mean, it came out in 2013. Wasn't superseded by Injustice 2, and I don't know, man. I think it's like a don't waste your time kind of game.
I agree. Sonic the Hedgehog, Mike. Sonic Hedgehog. He's giving me that.
Don't waste your time, man.
Oh, he's giving
Don't
me
waste your time.
Okay.
Where are you at? You were thinking single A games?
No, I wasn't thinking that. I don't know. The Sonic. I mean, I played like the first Sonic game, and like there's a Sonic open world game that came out. I heard it was okay. It wasn't like it's kind of just forgettable. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could agree with that. I think overall, I was gonna originally think like kind of podcast approved, but I mean, the Sonic games also like I just wouldn't recommend them. So I mean, that's enough for me. It's just like waste your time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia in it. There was one or two titles that I can think of off the top of my head that I'd be like, you should absolutely play this game. Like the one, I have it over here somewhere. It's when you can have the Chow Garden, and you can like have your little chows and like basically give them a whole bunch of different coins and like stuff, like all these different things to hatch an egg, and then you end up raising a chow that's either like an angel chow or a demon chow or a different chow. So like that game was really fun.
Adventure 2 Battle,
really popular in the game. yeah, that's what it was. But that
was a solid game, man. There'd be people. Yeah, I know. I probably have some friends that'd be like, "Why are you putting it there?" But it's kind of just I don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. It's not much.
I think it's a don't. I don't think it's a don't waste your time. Let's get into the next one here. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
That's a Dark Souls. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't think
it's bad either. It's not a don't waste your time.
No,
it's a very challenging game though. Like they're very challenging games. So
that's what I think too. I think it's kind of approved.
Yeah, put it kind of to the top of the kind of approved. I think it's I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. Obviously, it's a very challenging game.
I think
if you're into dying a lot, you'll like it.
Yeah. It seems to me that our kind of approved right now has been more about like a niche.
Yeah, it is kind of niche, right? Like, that's true. Yeah, like these are definitely
it's a particular audience. Yeah,
definitely.
So what do we got? The Last of Us.
Last of Us.
If we're putting to me, if we're putting God of War in the podcast approved, we got to put The Last of Us in podcast approved.
Dude, I can vouch for Last of Us. I know so many people that did not like Last of Us 2. And they were just like, I don't like the story. I don't like all this. Dude, it's such a...
I get that, but I mean, the first
one... It was the swan song of the PS4. It looks so good on that console. And then they released it on the 5. I think the story is still really good. The first one is so good. It's just like... It's like the pinnacle of video game storytelling for me.
I agree with
Especially the first game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm definitely... I'd approve... I'd recommend anyone to play this game. Both of them.
Yeah.
They're just good.
The next one is Lego.
Lego games.
I gotta put it in kind of, dude. I think it goes into that niche category.
It is, yeah.
It offers something for everybody, but if you're a little bit older and you want something a little bit like more mature, that's not really your type of game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's still, I think, it's one of those fun for the family games for sure, right? Like,
exactly.
Just, you want to have something to play, and the Harry Potter, or like, the Batman, stuff like that, but you want something more kid friendly, it's the option. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So very well made.
Agreed. All right, what is this next one?
Star Wars Battlefront?
Battlefront?
What do you think about
the Battlefront series? So we're talking about... Okay, so Battlefront 1 and 2 Classic are really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Yep.
The remakes, tough launches. Tough sell.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely the launches, right? Like,
yeah, and now if you want to get on and play it, it's riddled with hackers and cheaters. And there's this Battlefront community, man. In Battlefront 2, they have heroes versus villains where you can do 2v2 matchups or 1v1s and stuff. Well, you can't do 1v1s. It's just 2v2 matchups. And the fan base, for whatever reason, always wants to do 1v1s. They're just like, oh, let's do a 1v1. So when you're doing 2v2s or like 4v4s, like people will separate to like battle each other. And I'm like, why? Let's just play the game kind of thing. Yeah. It's a weird community. There's a lot of hackers. It's just, I don't know, man. I think it's in the don't waste your time category. And I say that as somebody who absolutely loves the original games. And I like during the shutdown of 2020, 2021, I was playing Battlefront 2 all the time. And
okay.
if FIFA's in the don't waste your time category, Battlefront's in don't waste your time either.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be one of those cases where it was really good at one point, but now it's just like the unfortunate demise.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. I wouldn't recommend to play him nowadays, but that's just me. I mean, there's a lot of fond memories. I enjoy Battlefront 2 a lot. Loved that game, but yeah, dude. I could agree with that. I wouldn't waste your time, you know? It's unfortunate.
You stepped on my dog's head, my bad. Okay. Speaking of dogs, Watch Dogs.
We don't have a single A game, like I'm just saying, dude.
I'm
dude.
I don't think it's a good game.
I don't think it is either. Dude, it was just so bad when it came out, right? Because like I will never forget how the E3 preview looked so different from the game on launch. It was just so like it was night and day different in the worst way possible. Like it was just everyone was promised this like really aesthetically pleasing, good looking game. Then it comes out and it's just like it's like a wet napkin. It's terrible, dude.
It's not good.
I wouldn't recommend anyone play these games ever. It's just like, I mean, I think I tried to play the first one once and I was like bored 20 minutes in. I was like, yeah, I can't get invested. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, honestly. Yeah, if these are don't waste your time, I'd rather recommend FIFA than Watch Dogs. That's for sure. You go play a fighting game rather than play this. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, that pretty much the entire category of don't waste your time, I would say play that before playing Watch Dogs.
Yep. I would agree.
Yep.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And I feel the same way about the next game, which is Crash Bandicoot.
You're saying a single A? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying I would choose that over Watch Dogs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would choose Crash over Watch Dogs for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Insane trilogies, I think, are good remakes too, especially like the newer games or the newer remakes of them. I don't know. I would personally put it in kind of podcast approved. I mean, I think they're like solid games. Granted, they are older, but since the remakes, and I think they're really solid. So I don't know if you want to go check them out.
Oh, okay.
I'd play them over.
I mean, you got Pac-Man in that category too, so I'm on board. I'm on board with that.
Okay.
I would put them around the same level.
The Pac-Man take went crazy, That's all I'm saying.
You're nuts. It's like you're crazy, but whatever.
All right.
Team effort here.
There's only one thing
from
left.
The top list.
There's one thing left, dude. Got to pick our top game out of all this.
What are your top three?
Yeah, so let's see.
And I'll tell you what my top three are.
Let's recap. So in the podcast approved and the A list, what are we going to move to S tier? We have Assassin's Creed, Batman series, GTA, Call of Duty series, Doom series, Final Fantasy series, God of War series, Halo, Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Pokemon, Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Spider-Man. You have Super Mario Bros, Super Smash Bros, Uncharted, Witcher, Fallout, and Last of Us. Those are our kind of big games. Oh man, what are my top three, Mike? For me, I think, especially as I've played some of the older games still, I like GTA. I think that's going to be my top three. Oh man, this is so difficult. Obviously, Fallout's going to be my top three. That's just me. Like, we can decide on all these. I would put, it's like GTA, Fallout. Oh man. This third one's going to be so tough for me. It's like, I almost, it sounds crazy. I almost want to put COD, but like, I would not put in Legendary. Like, that's why it's like, I don't want to pick it, because I know I wouldn't put in Legendary.
You'll get destroyed by like any.
No.
I can't let you do that.
Like out of all of these, I don't know, probably Uncharted maybe. Like that GTA, Fallout, and Uncharted. Those are kind of like my, I think, top three out of all these though. I'm curious to hear what you think though, Mike. What are your top three here?
All right, let me go through the basis of where I'm at with deciding this. Okay, the first one is it's got to be a game that offers multiple avenues of entertainment for different types of people.
Okay. Ooh,
So
he's going the people's game here. That's what he's doing.
yeah, I think this is gonna be the people's game. So Fallout, you need to be a specific type of person to play that game all the way through,
It is
or
niche.
the
It
entire
is niche.
series.
I'll give you that.
The
It is
same
niche.
thing with Uncharted. They're in the same category, and I
They
understand
are
why you would
yeah,
pick it because I
okay.
know your style of games.
Yeah, it's the podcast list, right? It's not my list.
Yes.
So yeah, so I can agree
So
with that.
I will build the bridge. I gotta put Zelda in my top 3.
Okay,
I gotta do that.
That's good. That's good.
That I also think here's where, like you said, it gets tough. I think Grand Theft Auto is also really far up there, just
Okay.
with how much stuff you can do and the online community, the role playing. Like it's an overall game that's just phenomenal, right?
Yep.
The new one looks amazing as well. But I think what clears both of them,
Clear.
and why I think it should Super Mario.
Oh.
Hear me out.
Oh.
Hear me out, dude.
Okay.
You got everything you could possibly want in that video game series. It's an iconic face for an entire franchise. The Nintendo brand is basically a Mario brand. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
you got like underrated games. Super Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy is a phenomenal game.
Oh yeah,
Like
1 and 2. Yep.
Super Mario 1 and 2, like you just said, 2 and 3. Like they're
think
good, man.
Yeah,
Super
man.
Mario World, bro.
The most relevant point I think out of all of this too is that Super Mario, any game in that series can be played by anyone, and anyone can have a good time. Like any age, gender, identification, like whatever. Like
it doesn't matter.
It's just everyone can find enjoyment out of it. You're selling me, Mike. You're selling me.
The number one sell though is out of all of these games, I guarantee anybody that's watching this has played Mario before. Has played if you haven't played Mario before, you're not a gamer. I'm sorry. That's just so weird, man.
So true.
It's really weird not to play a Mario game. Maybe it's like because I'm an old head, perhaps. Maybe there's a lot of people that all they've ever owned was like PlayStation. They've never owned a Nintendo in their life. I'm sorry, you're 15 years old. Grow up, get a Super Mario, like Game Boy. Like just play Mario. What's the problem here? It's a great game. To me, that's legendary. I think that clears everything on the board because you can have so many different options. And we're probably not even listing all the phenomenal Super Mario games.
Oh, yeah. Probably not.
We got 3D. That could be good. Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
There's a whole like world of platform games that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. They were the start of the platformer, Mike. I know earlier I was talking about not ranking Pac-Man high just because it's one of those things like it's because of how old the game is. It's one of the OG games. But like Mario is definitely better than Pac-Man though in my opinion because like it's withstood the test of time. There's many different iterations. It's one of the oldest IPs ever. Like Mike, you're selling me, dude. I think you're selling me.
I think that's where it's got to go.
Dude. Yeah.
I think one like kind of an underrated part of Super Mario is Super Mario Maker, where you get to create your own levels as well.
Yeah, and it's like a whole creation kit. It's wild.
Yeah. But I think that's why it's got to be my legendary status. Yeah. Each one of the games offers something unique. It can be for anybody to play, like you just said. But if we're going with like AAA titles, which you can kind of like lean into, I think Grand Theft Auto, Zelda is a close, like they're right behind it as well.
Nope. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's pretty good. Yeah. Nah, dude. I agree with Super Mario Bros. I couldn't agree more. Especially as the podcast list, I think it's a good cap to it because just from a user standpoint, not people that play it can enjoy it, and yeah, it's undeniable, dude, and it's not slowing down.
I think we got a fair list. You should publish this. Like, do you have an account on Tier List Maker?
I do. Yeah, I do.
So
my account.
Yeah, you do. So you can publish that list. And we'll link it in the description so people can check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I already know. Yeah, we'll leave a link and we may even tweet it out, dude. Just saying, follow Twitter.
I think we tweeted out. But I think I want to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't know if you're skipping around.
Yeah,
Our audio's good. Our audio's good.
Sounds great, but yeah, the videos.
Yeah, that's on my end. We have a big storm coming through. I did a speed test while in between of like messing with the tier list maker, and my internet's cooked right now. I think everybody's home streaming. So let's wrap this up. We've been recording for a better part of an hour and a half.
Yep.
I enjoyed the tier list. We need to start doing these a little bit more often.
Yeah, dude. No, I enjoyed it too, and can't wait to publish it. I think it's good.
Yeah,
solid. I think it's a good podcast list. Represents us. So.
Yeah, I think so too.